I welcome you back. Thank you for being a part of this program. This is newspaper headlines analysis, and of course we need to look at some of the major stories across the dailies. My name is Oluwayemi Adelako. Let's start from New Telegraph. I have this headline that says 2027, I won't step down for anybody. That's coming from Atiku, ready to support whoever gets a ticket. Contrary to what some media outlets are publishing to say that Atiku is willing to step down, I think, looking at some of the stories that I have, and of course the spokesperson came out to clarify that particular issue to say Atiku is not stepping down, but should any young candidate win the primaries, is going to support the person full-time. Away from that headline, let's also check this one that says independents reduce food prices and security. Khan tells Tinubu after the presidential speech for October 1st, a lot of Nigerians, had something to say about the fact that, some of the things that the president mentioned are not obtainable in reality. And then the Khan is, speaking to Tinubu to say reduce food prices and end insecurity. Away from that headline, let's also check this one that says mosque is world's first half trillionaire. And then people, began to compare mosque with, some of the known billionaires in Nigeria and, of course, outside Nigeria to say, okay, mosque, has been able to get this title. And then I feel like there's some, silent trillionaire, across the world that we do not even know about. Away from that, but then congratulations to him. Away from that headline, let's also check this one that says uncertainty over legal framework and hinder electoral process. That's coming from INEC, and that headline as its writers says review report contains 142 recommendations for electoral reforms. Tinubu NAS wants 2027 election better, more transparent. That's coming from Abbas. So really, I think at this point in time, a lot of Nigerians, are coming out to register. It is the duty of INEC to ensure that, things will work perfectly better than 2023 because, we are going to have several elections in this country. Osun State election is coming up next year and the general elections 2027. So it is time for INEC to begin to look at the problems that were encountered in the last elections to see how they can fix those problems to ensure that we have a free and fair election. Away from that, let's also check this one that says we didn't sign reconciliation part. PENGASSAN says after strike suspension. I really do not think we have peace over this matter yet. Speaking about PENGASSAN and Dangote, because what is this headline really talking about to say we did not sign reconciliation part? Why then was the strike suspended? Because Dangote has come out to say that okay, the workers that were sacked will be taken back, and then PENGASSAN called off the strike, but it appears that there are still some underlying issues that must be resolved. Away from New Telegraph this morning, let's cross over to Nigerian Tribune. I have this headline that says Nigeria at 65, PDP carpet Tinubu says president's speech boring, uninspiring, full of lies. We'll talk about that this morning. Because apart from the PDP, other opposition party and other opposition persons, or let me say politicians, are also complaining about the presidential speech to say that some of the things that were mentioned are not true, far from truth. PDP is saying it is boring, uninspiring, and full of lies. We get to talk about that this morning. Another headline says the Osun Assembly wants bank not to honor unauthorized financial institutions on local government account. We are still trying to find a way to settle this all local government finance, local government revenue in Osun State. I just hope that this can be resolved before the Osun State elections and come 2026. Away from that, let's cross over to Daily Independence this morning. I have a headline that says 2027, I never said I would step down from presidential race. That's coming from Atiku. Tinubu's Independence Day broadcast full of misleading claims. That's coming from PDP. The banner line is saying service outages may persist as telcos suffer over 100,000 fire caught. Sector rebounds as active mobile lines rise by 2.2 in August. That's a very, sad situation, really. Crossing over, let's talk about this one that says failing family system, cause of rising insecurity in Nigeria. I think is one thing we should look at. That's coming from the CDS to say that some problems that we have across several families in Nigeria is part of what is causing insecurity. Don't forget that a lot is going on in Kwara State. I watched a video of a certain woman, an elderly woman, crying out profusely about her husband who was killed. Several persons have died. So even people who volunteered to safeguard the lives of people and properties were killed. It's a lot, honestly. And then away from that headline, let's check this one that says the Rivers Emergency Rule Court dismisses suit against Tinubu. Do not forget that a lot of persons took the matter to court to say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had no right whatsoever to suspend a sitting governor. Speaking about Simlaif Bara, and of course installing a sole administrator in terms of IBAS, and then the matter was taken to court, but then the court has ruled to say that okay, this particular claim has no stand, and then the president had every right to do that. Away from that headline, I also have this one that says delaying legal reforms may disrupt planning of 2027 polls. That's coming from INEC. European Union election mission 6 constitutional judicial reforms ahead of polls. We've spoken about that already. Finally, for this morning, let's check what's going on Leadership Friday. We still have this headline that says internal conflict won't stop our national convention. That's coming from the PDP. Definitely, there are internal, conflict within the party, but the party is saying we are going to have a convention regardless of all of those things happening. And I think it's going to happen in a battle. Let's look forward to that. Away from that, I have this headline that says Senate approval includes 10 billion naira for cars, travels 9 billion naira, phone calls 1.2 billion naira. Another headline this morning is saying women set save ablaze in Bochi. That's a very sad one. We don't know, why that happened, but we get to talk about it if time permits us this morning. It's time to take a short break, and when we come back, I'll have my analysts join me to help me make sense of the top stories that we have across the dailies this morning. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. I have with me Lekon Shobowale, a journalist and a public affairs analyst. Welcome on board. Yeah, is it too late to say Happy Independence Day?
Not too late.
Okay. All right. This headline caught my attention a few minutes ago that says tinted glass NBA fumes as police impound George's vehicle, and then he's saying that a letter was written to the IGP on Thursday to say that this matter is still in court in terms of how things that should be done about people who have not gotten their tinted glass. So why should you impound a George's vehicle? What do you make of this matter? Because apart from the judge, people are speaking on behalf of this judge because there's a judge. What about other Nigerians who do not have someone to speak out for them?
Well, on the issue of tinted glass, I think due to the rising insecurity in Nigeria, it is very important for our security agencies to take some proactive steps in order to curb these. Everywhere in Nigeria, you'll be hearing of high waves of insecurity all around, and one of the things that these people used, the so-called, is all these are tinted glasses. Most times when you see cars, well tinted, you don't know who is inside the car. It becomes very difficult to identify the driver or even the occupants of that car. So I think, yes, there is a pending court case, but the Nigerian police force 2 or 3 days ago came out and said, their decisions to begin to commence, impounding tinted glasses without permits, have nothing to do with the case in court. Okay. So I don't know, but we are still. I think today is October 3rd, right?
Yes.
And they said that they are going to commence that yesterday, and we've not been able to see any. I don't know. I'm not aware that they've commenced the enforcement of the ban on tinted glasses. I've not heard that they impounded any car, especially in Oyo State. So, but I think we should look at the essence, the importance of these enforcements, which is to curb insecurity. All of us, we are panicking. We are hearing everything that is happening in Kwara State, very close to Oyo State. And these people, according to intelligence information, they are moving towards Oyo State. So, and when they are coming, of course, they will do that with, one of their techniques is coming into the city, the town with all these tinted glasses. And so I think it is very important for people to understand, and it costs you nothing to tinted glass permit is just 45,000 naira. So if you want to tint your car, and it's very easy.
But then some people are experiencing difficulty because a lot of them have to pay online, and then when they get to the center to register properly, they will still tell them to come and pay some certain amount of money.
No. You can just download it on your phone. I also use tinted glass, so you can download it on your phone. Then whatever, if you're having an issue, for those of us living in Ibadan, LA is very close by. Even for those outside Ibadan, I'm talking about your state now.
Okay.
You can always walk into any of these police area commands office to lodge your complaint. They give you a cover-up letter that, just like when you want to have your driver's license, you can request for a cover letter that you are, show them the receipt that you are undergoing the process of your tinted glass permit. But generally, it is very important for us to sort this out once and for all, so that you won't just see criminals hiding under the excuses of using tinted glasses coming into town to harm our people.
Okay, I think it's a fine place to leave it. Let's look at this headline that says, Nigeria at 65, PDP carpets Tinubu, says president's speech boring, uninspiring and full of lies. Do you agree with this? Because apart from even PDP, even some Nigerians are saying that some of the things that the president said are not true. Yes,
PDP is an opposition party, and time immemorial, you can never see any opposition parties to commend the ruling government. The duty of the opposition party is to always checkmate, to always be on their toes, but it should not be where the present administration have tried. Let us commend them, and everybody knows that what PDP is saying is that we have so much hunger in the land, and it is very obvious. All of us knows. President Tinubu, made, the president was talking about data. He was talking about the information at his disposal, but in the real sense of it, everybody knows that there is hunger in this land. So, like I said yesterday, it is not just the responsibility of the president, the PDP that are now complaining. We have PDP governors, like in our state, we have PDP governors. The governors are meant to interpret the policies of the president, and one of the ways to interpret, take for instance, we have some of the states, the ones that are before now that are getting 5 billion, 6 billion, they are now getting 15, 17, 18, 20 billion now. And what is the effect of that? Subsidy has been removed, more money are coming to the states, more grants are coming to the states. The best way to interpret the policy of the president is by injecting more money, into the public space. It is not about building roads. Yes, it's good to build roads. It's not about building roads. It's not about building airports. It's not about building government. It's not about building stadium. It is about building the people. Before now we have what we called stomach infrastructure. You have to empower the people. You have to put something in their stomach. You can do that through various means. So it is not by saying that what the president was. Yes, looking at the speech of the president, okay, to some extent, Nigerians are escorted. We have improved security, in some of the regions now. Before now, we know what we used to have, aside from exceptional cases.
A lot of Nigerians will not agree with you on that.
Yes,
because they feel like,
we have exceptional cases.
Okay.
Like Kwara State, you understand. But when you look at it generally, we are not where we used to be, but we can still improve. All over the world, you have security issues. You have, even in the United States of America, in the last 2-3 weeks. Of course, you can hear what has been happening. From the killing of the
Charlie Kirk.
Yes, so we have it all around us. You understand? So the effects will surely be coming into Nigeria. So the federal government has tried its best, but that does not mean we are not yet there, in terms of insecurity, but it can still be better. So what the president read 2 days ago was, it's data. You understand the information that was handed over to the president. You understand? But what I know is that at least we are not where we used to be. But my belief is that things can still get better. But the PDP, the opposition parties, they also have elected officers.
Okay.
They should also do what they need. I just mentioned of increased revenue allocation of the state now. The PDP governors, what are they doing in order to enhance the welfare of the people? You understand? We build capital project and all this stuff, but you have to, you have to also build your people. When you build your people, President Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, not the president of your state, not the president of FCT. Even in FCT, we have FCT minister who is in charge of FCT. You understand? And the president believes that he has done the right thing by giving this governor more money. So he is not giving them money to go and build airports, to go and build this, to go and build that. He is giving them money to go and impart. Take for instance, minimum wage. We have some that are paying 70, 77, 80,000. We have someone that is paying 104,000 naira. So if it takes you to be paying your workers 200,000 naira for them to, because when you pay them this money, they take it to the markets. Traders, they have their own, carpenters, they have their own, mechanics have their own, panel. So, the money is cycled within the public space. So, but I'm not surprised, that should be the duty of a very serious opposition party. But yes, we are not there, but I believe we are improving.
All right, I think it's a fine place to leave that headline. Let's check this one out that is saying Atiku rules out quitting presidential race, lament PDP woes. I'm surprised that some media outlets are saying that Atiku wants to step down from the race, while Atiku said that I'm not stepping down from the race, but if any young candidate should win the primaries, I'm going to support him. Now, Shehu Soni said something recently to say that it would take a lot for Atiku to lose the primaries. Do you agree with that? Because some Nigerians are saying, okay, is it that the fate of the primaries has already been decided, even few months, or let me say, no, we have like over a year now before the primaries. Has it been decided for him to come out to say that? Will it not deter some persons to contest?
It has been decided a very long time ago. If you remember, I said it a few months ago that I don't see any serious contender in ADC with Atiku Abubakar.
What if Obi joins?
See, everybody knows the history of Atiku Abubakar. I was reading a piece this morning about Yunus Atanko, the campaign DG of Peter Obi, saying that they are not going to, Peter Obi have this slogan of not giving shishi. And that's what the man said, that they know what Atiku is up to. They know that the ticket, whether in ADC or in any other coalition party, is going to be up for grabs, the highest bidder. Okay. But Peter Obi is not ready to spend a kobo to get the ticket. So that, even in his own, is pointing to the fact that because Nigerian politics has been characterized with money, Nigerian politics has been monetized. So there is no way you want to organize a free, it is so difficult, not only in ADC, in PDP, in APC, in all these parties. You understand? It has been monetized. So there is no way. You cannot just imagine Peter Obi contesting the primary with Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar since 1992. We read his history in what happened at a Jos SDP primary in 1992. You understand? You know what happened in 1999? Between Atiku and Obasanjo. Even in 2007, you know what happened? You go and read about Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar has never stepped down for anybody. He did that just once. He has contested for this president for like 6-7 times. He only did that in 1992, and he was forced to do that by his godfather, the late Musa Yar'Adua, if you understand. So, and out of 7-8 times that he has contested, he has stepped down just for once. So, Atiku Abubakar will never step down for anybody. You understand? And when it comes to the primary, Atiku Abubakar is there to spend the money. When Peter Obi will not spend shishi, Atiku Abubakar will spend dollars. So the primary will be dollarized. And it's not as if Peter Obi doesn't have that dollar, but Peter Obi will not spend the kobo. His philosophy, his principle of not spending shishi. They have been saying that they are not going to spend the kobo. But Atiku Abubakar will spend, you remember 2014 National Convention of APC. you know, the then coalition party APC.
Okay.
You know, we all know what happened at Slim Balogun Stadium. You know, if not for the intervention of the then Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar will have won that election. You know, it took President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, you know, to came in at that time. You know, the convention was dollarized, you know, by Atiku Abubakar, the likes of Ucha Sukurucha, the likes of Rabi Kwakwanso. It was President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that stepped in, you know, for late Muhammadu Buhari. So that has been the attribute of. I don't see any serious contest in this ADC in 2027 presidential election. Look at what happened at a PDP primary at in 2023. You know, Wike is also having the dollars. Look at what happened. Look at what transpired. Look at the political coup that happened there. Even with all the monies that Wike has gathered, you know, Atiku still flowed in. So, who are those in ADC that we want to contest against? Are you talking about Peter Obi that will not spend shishi? Are you talking about Malam Rufai that is not even serious, that his loyalty?
I don't even think he's interested in contesting.
Yes, his loyalty is to nobody, so selfish and greedy.
What about Amici?
Forget about it. You know, Amici cannot withstand the monetary strength and the political strength of Atiku Abubakar. No, so it's just the ADC ticket, presidential ticket is just for Atiku Abubakar. It's just, you know, Abubakar is just looking for, you know, someone that can, you know, team up with him, work for him, especially in at this side of the country, in the southern region of the country. So Atiku knows that the ADC ticket is a straight jacket win for him. So I don't see, you know, the Peter Obi movement, you don't spend shishi movement, all those stuff. They cannot stop Atiku Abubakar from getting that ticket. They know. You know, that's what Yunusa Tako said this morning, that they know that the whole process will be dollarized, and that is just the truth. And that is what Atiku Abubakar will do. So I don't see anybody taking that ticket away from Atiku Abubakar. If Atiku Abubakar is going to contest from ADC.
All right, it's a fine place to leave it. We'll come back to talk about this whole matter after the ADC primaries. Let's talk about PENGASSAN now. I have this headline that says, we didn't sign reconciliation part. PENGASSAN says after strike suspension. Will you say that it appears that all those, you know, struggles and then the conflicts, you know, have not been resolved yet? Because Dangote has said that, okay, we are going to take back all those that we sacked, and then PENGASSAN called off the strike. PENGASSAN is now saying we did not sign a reconciliation part. Is it that PENGASSAN, you know, called off the strike because the federal government weighed in on the matter? You
know, I said it yesterday that the issue is still a very long way to be resolved. The issue has not been resolved. You know, Yusufu said it yesterday that the only reason they suspended that strike, you know, because there are these insinuations flying around that the PENGASSAN and NUPEG are being used by some group of politicians. And the man said they suspended that strike, number one, because of the confidence they have in the federal government. Number two, because they want to, you know, debunk the rumor that they are being used by politicians. You understand? Number three, they want to show that they are also patriotic Nigerians. The man said it yesterday that they don't trust Dangote. They know that Dangote will never, you know, he said it yesterday. He said it so many things that they know that Dangote will never fulfill his own side of the obligation. You know, I was reading some, you know, write-up this morning where I read that Dangote is saying that the affected workers should stay in their houses, that he's going to pay them for 5 years without doing nothing. That he doesn't want them to come to his refinery. They should just stay in their houses, waking and sleeping, eating and drinking. If they have opportunity of taking up some other appointment, that he's going to be paying them every month, and he will pay them for 5 months. That's a new dimension to it. So that he never trusts those people, that they can still come back and sabotage his efforts. That can come back and sabotage his mind. So, you know, this is what Osifo is saying, that they know that Dangote will never fulfill his own side of the obligation. But they suspended that strike because they want to, you know, just look at it. Just within 3 days, go and look at the losses of Nigeria, even Nigeria as a nation, just for 3 days. Look at the gas now. 1,001, 1,000 for 1,005, from 1,000 to 1,250.
Now Nigerians are bearing like the brunt of the whole matter.
You understand? So that's why Sifu said that they suspended that strike just to show that they are protecting Nigerians. But they know that Dangote will never back down. They know that Dangote is not going to fulfill his own side of the. So I don't know. I guess that I just advise the federal government to just come up and I don't know, because Dangote is a businessman. He wants to make profits. You understand? And that the PENGASSAN, they are bringing up the issue of unionism into, and it's going to be very difficult. Let's look at private institutions. Hardly you see or you hear anything like unionism. If you have 10 of them, maybe like 1 or 2 of them. They don't like having all this union thing in there, because they know that at a slightest provocation, the workers go on strike. And when they go on strike, how do you want to make up your money? How do you want to make up for your profits? So they will never allow anything called unions in their private organization. So I don't know. The federal government can just come into this, but I know that this problem is still, is still not resolved.
Federal government coming in. Some Nigerians are saying there was a time that PENGASSAN was disbanded by a military, head of state.
Yes.
They are saying, how can the federal government reduce, the power of PENGASSAN to make sure that all of these matters, are resolved? Will you say that, federal government should maybe disband PENGASSAN or suspend that sector for a while?
It's going to be, it's going to be difficult. We are not in a military government. We are in a democratic government. You don't just wake up. We are not Sonia Abacha, banned all these PENGASSAN, no PENG at that time. The time of Franco Kori and the likes then. But we are not in that era now.
Okay.
So President Tinubu cannot just wake up. President Muhammadu Buhari during his time tried that with NLC. If you remembered, what was this man, former Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige. That was the time we have 2 NLC in Nigeria. At that time when the strike was a bit long, and that was the time the federal government registered. I cannot remember the name of that labor movement now. Nigerian Labour Congress. Another one now came up then, maybe from ASU, maybe from OAU. I cannot remember now. So it's going. You cannot just ban them. You understand? It is the association, and we are operating with constitution in this present democratic governance. We have at least 1999 constitution as amended now. So, and it allows for freedom of association. You understand? So when you are planning to do that, you are trying to limit their fundamental human rights. You understand? Which, if they go to court, of course they will always win. So I don't know how, and it's even dangerous for a democracy. All this PENGASSAN, all this no pen that you are talking about, they also have their own advantages.
Okay.
At a critical time. You understand? Look at the role they play during the General Sonia Abacha regime. They played a very important role, very serious role. The likes of Franco Kori and the likes. They are members and leaders of NUPENG and PENGASSAN then. You understand? So, you cannot just wash away or wish away their power. There are also labor unions. There are also associations that at the critical time they always stand up to fight for Nigerians. So it's going to be very difficult for you to advise the federal government. I don't subscribe. As a Democrat, I cannot subscribe to that. But I believe there will always be a way, to call this person, to talk to this person. PENGASSAN and NUPENG should understand that Dangote, like I said, Dangote is a private investment. This man invested a lot of money. There are so many businessmen that are more richer than Atiku Dangote. You understand? But they decided not to invest in Nigeria refinery, in Nigeria oil and gas sector. But Dangote is doing that at his own risk. So you have to encourage him. He's using his money, so you cannot just bring in PENGASSAN, NUPENG to disrupt his economic activities.
First of all, Osifo mentioned something to say that while he was, trying to build his refinery, FX, was actually, reduced for him. A lot of things were done to make sure that, he had a smooth, journey.
Yes, all those things are not excuses. Yeah, I mean, they are not. Dangote is a Nigerian.
Okay.
So you have to encourage, what the government used to do is that you encourage investors. Of course, you used to encourage foreign investors. So why won't you encourage your own local investors? President Tinubu did it now. Crude oil for Naira, for Dangote. And it's working. So whatever you can do, okay, look at it now. Dangote is a private investment. But the federal government intervened in resolving the logjam yesterday. So whatever the federal government needs to do, they have to do. Look at the location of our Dangote refinery. It was negotiated, to some extent. Some corners were bent, for Dangote by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was the governor of Lagos State. So, a Nigerian investor, you have to do so many things for him to encourage him. So, when you are bringing in NUPENG, you are bringing in PENGASSAN, it's the man is saying that, please, whoever that doesn't want to be part of NUPENG or PENGASSAN, let that person be.
Okay.
Sure, you understand? It's not saying that there should not be union and all those stuff in Dangote refinery, but don't coerce. Don't force people into it. That is what the man is saying. If I'm Dangote, if I'm the owner of that refinery, I can also do the same thing. Okay. Don't bring in NLC, UTUC, and all this stuff into my private investment. This is not government investment. It's my private. I invested my money into it. How many of Nigerian businessmen can do what Dangote has done? So we need to, encourage him. Okay. Because things like this, when other businessmen are seeing this, they will decide not to do this. We have some Nigerians that have refineries outside the country, just because of all this issue. It doesn't make any sense, and it's not too good. So federal government should just step in and resolve it, because because there are so many people that want to jeopardize the efforts of Dangote, that they don't like how, now that we are having Dangote refinery in Nigeria, they don't want any refinery to work in Nigeria. So we should not allow those people. We should continue to encourage this man. Yes, he's an investor, he wants monopoly. That is not the issue. But many Nigerians are working in that refinery. So we should encourage this man, not just to shut down the refinery because of PENGASSAN and all this NUPENG thing.
All right, I think it's a fine place to leave it. He also mentioned that if some persons are trying to sabotage him, I do hope that the federal government will do the needful and find a strategic way to solve this matter, between Dangote and PENGASSAN. It's a fine place to leave it this morning. A big thanks to Lekon Shobowale, a journalist and public affairs analyst. Thank you for being a part of this program. Please stay with us. We need to take a short break, and when we come back, big story will come up. Samson Balogun is standing by. My name is Oluwayemi Adela. I'm saying thank you for being a part of the segment.